Started from the dirt, now we climbing up that hill. No brakes, no fear, just will. Recharge, got a barge, ready to roll. RC Rugged Roach.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to RC Rugged Roach. All right, so here we are staring at that staircase that was in part one of this jungle build. As you can see, I kind of scrapped where I was going with it. I'm going to be honest, I was actually trying to work with AI to see, different ways. I had to scrap those wedges that were going fully across 8 inches. I had to scrap the nosings that it was trying to do. It was trying to assure me that between the wedge and then the piece sticking out, it would create a hook for that crawler to go up and over. That may be true when it comes to physics. However, it just wasn't working for me and my needs. So what I did was I decided to just make me same 1.5 inch wedges on either side of the step. And then I left a gap in the middle. Why did I do that? Well, because my Jeep SEX24, the JLU, can climb right up the middle as long as it has grip, which I'm going to have to add some more texture to that. I've got some texture paint on there, but I need more grip. Maybe some sand mixed with Mod Podge to give it more grip to get up. But it climbs that fine without popping a wheelie. Now, what about my TRX4Ms? Well, as you saw in the video prior to this, the intro, I just have that K10, which is my heaviest, going right up the wedges. You just have to keep the edge of the tires on the wedges, and you can climb straight up. I will challenge the TRX4 more, the 4M over there on that, okay? I'm cutting some hard lines in that foam, trying to decide if I want to drop a wall straight on the edge here or if I want to bring that foam on down. I discussed that a little bit in the last video, but I think I can make it look really cool, like some crumbled ruins, rubble and stuff, if I just put a wall there. You can see here on the side, I've got this black foam board, kind of primered a little bit playing around with it, but what's going to happen is it's going to get, I'm 3D printing all these little squares. They've been painted with that texture paint. You can get Rust-Oleum or you can get Krylon, and they both have like this stone texture. One has a coarse and one just has stone. Check those out if you're interested in having that speckle pattern. So these were black squares from my 3D printer. I sprayed them with some Rust-Oleum automotive primer that you can actually sand. I didn't need to sand these, however, but as you can see there, they're black on the back. You may hear my 3D printer in the background. I do apologize. I've printed up a whole bunch. I've got more for this side. We're going to wrap up this little segment here, and we'll see where we end up next. So while the top of the step works fine for those TRX4Ms with their 18th scale, they can clear this very well. My Jeep JLU is having an issue here. I do have the black brass high clearance links on bottom. You can see there the high clearance with the bends. However, I am still bellying out right here. Let's see if we can't get a closer look at that. I'm on a tripod. I do apologize. But anyway, it bottoms out right there. So what I'm going to have to do is I can do one of two things. Lift this front end up until it clears by adding on to my volcano piece here, or I can simply, since I have this top step looking like damaged, it's going to look like lava, ruin this area. I might have some black and maybe a little bit of orange and stuff in there, like it's still cooling lava, magma here, and on the other side as well. So I am playing around with a little bit of like damaged ruins block here that I 3D printed. This is one that I have here, my design, and I have one more that I can add. It's a little smaller possibly to this side. If it won't fit, it can go over there. And I may scatter some of these throughout the ruins, maybe over there at the foam. Anyway, what we're facing here, though, is just getting this Jeep to clear this top step by either cutting out the middle of this or adding more height here to keep those wheels up until I can clear that. So I'm going to try something here. This is Plaster of Paris. I like that you can make it a little runny and then let it kind of flow like lava. So as I was saying a minute ago, I need to build this up. So we're going to let this get good and hard. Also over here, we're going to kind of look like it was kind of spilling out of the lava pit there. We'll paint this up real nice, just like the rest of it. We'll have a lot of black magma down here, though, like it's cooling. Kind of like these stairs were a dam, and it's just kind of pulling up here. is what I'm seeing here. Some people are like, dang it, I just created myself more work. I don't shy away from work, so to me this is going to be fun. It gives me the opportunity to paint some more of those colors that I really like to paint, all those fiery colors. And so now we're going to extend it here. It's supposed to look like, my whole intention was, that's why that top one is shorter, was to make it look like lava was eating away at the stairs. So they are not connected, so I can still move this. You can see there, I was careful not to have them touch. I actually pulled this piece away, let that lava, and then kind of pushed it back slowly to make sure that in the back wasn't going to touch, and it's not. So it'll harden really nice like this. And then, like I said, we'll get painted up. All right, we're going to give this the opportunity to see if this will, in fact, help it clear that top step there as far as no more bellying out on it. And so far, so good. It looks like we may do it. We're going to try to turn this wheel this way a little bit, losing a little traction. I'm going to have to add more traction, as stated before. But the clearing issue is a go. So that lava there is going to help. We'll have to get that all painted up to match. But there you go. We problem solved and we figured that one out. So we are going to continue on with this build. So the stairs, I have this other side done now. I decided to just make it match this side. Now you may see the putty on this side as well. Had to let that dry. It went from pink to white. So we will be getting rid of a little bit of that, you know, the over putty there, if you will. And we will end up painting that to match this the best I can. Looking pretty good. We got our Plaster of Paris drying up there. So moving on to this other side now. I have been back and forth on how I wanted to do this. I had talked about bringing the hill all the way out to this curve. You see scribble marks there at some notes. I thought about having a ramp that came up and over and then this climbing up. But what I've actually decided to do now is we are going to make this into a giant clutter here of just building that has crumbled under the years of harsh rains and weather and all that. This is just going to be crumbling. And you're thinking, well, then why is this side so nice? We're going to make this side have, a green wash for algae and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you have stuff standing where other stuff is not standing. But we're going to try to have this not look so nice, so to speak. But yeah, over here, we're going to add some columns. We're going to add some stones. I am enjoying the 3D printing aspect of it, but I will not give up my love of using garbage, so to speak. It's not dirty, but and then spray foam and then plaster cloth, plaster, that kind of stuff. That's how I originally learned, and I just really enjoy that method and painting it up real nice. Why is this green? I had some freebie filament that came with my Bamboo Lab, and I wanted to try to blow this up. Now, a designer had this, and it was scaled for D&D games, but I wanted to see if I could scale it up to make it match my needs without it being losing too much detail. And this looks the closest to the actual Mayan columns that I could find, which was kind of like rounded stones that were stacked. I've been experimenting with different stones, jagged, destroyed stones that we can put in there. So I'm only printing one of each till I decide what I want to do here. Now I am going to stick with good old customary styrofoam that comes in your packaging from Amazon, plus a little bit of foam board I had left, pieces of that. So this kind of broke it off and noticed, well, that looks kind of like a staircase. So in ruins, you may have an old staircase that got busted up. We're going to have all kinds of different stones stacked in there, like rubble. And some of this may end up on this piece, and then just giant rubble collapsing here, coming down ruins, columns falling over. My plans start off one thing, but they may evolve into something else. So I know that this second part here doesn't have a lot of completed course here. However, I am working on some things behind the scenes. So what I'm working on right now is designing and creating this ramp that I'm going to have. These are 30-degree turns. I have a third one. So what we can do is place them here and then create a ramp to bring them down. Or I'm printing some straight ones now. We can bring it out further and then down. So again, there is a third one that I already have. So 330 pieces is going to make it a 90-degree turn. 45-degree obviously was just too tight of a turn for a TRX4M. The SCX24s should really not have a problem turning on this. It's a little bit tight for the TRX4M, but it does all right. So anyway, I want to wrap this video up and get this out to you guys. Just wanted to show you what I am doing behind the scenes on this now. We're getting ready to build a ramp. I believe I want to leave some room in here to show some of that rubble that I was talking about, columns, broken pieces, etc. Anyway, I hope that you like this video. We're going to continue this series. Try to at least try to get you one a week. No promises, but we'll do my best to. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video or any of my other videos. I hope that you'll go and check those out as well. See you in the next video.